Hi guys, I'm Corey and I like to dream. So welcome to my Zero Waste Utopian Future series. So the first thing I would like to see is governments of any country, state, province, town, wherever, just governments in general. I would like them to provide people with basic human rights, and they should be wanting their people and their land to be as green as possible. So in order to do that, they have to provide the necessary needs for their people. Okay, so for example, everybody has the right to water, but when you talk about water, you don't want to waste it, right? There is droughts all over the world. Some people have their water rationed already. Some people already have a hard time getting water. And I think specifically rainwater catchment should be everywhere. We should be allowed to do it everywhere. I know there are some parts in the world where it's not even legal, which I think is ridiculous. So I think in the future, every single person on the planet should be doing rainwater catchment. Also, when you talk about water, I'm talking about gray water as well. If everybody on the planet used a eco-friendly soap or dish soap or laundry soap, any kind of soap that you wash with for your clothing or your body or your dishes, even your produce, whatever goes down the drain should be okay to use as gray water on your gardens or your plants or your flowers, etc. So that should be a requirement I would love to see in the future. If we continue talking about water, I really hate that some places have privatized water. I think it's a really unethical thing to do. Some places have the government or the town councils or whatever, they have sold the water rights to water bottle companies. Think of the biggest one. And what they do is they'll go buy the water rights for a town and they'll bottle the water and then they sell it back to the community or the town they're taking it from. Whereas maybe the town over or the state or province over next to them has no good drinking water. So I really think it's an unethical thing to privatize water, and I don't think it should be done. I think it should be abolished. Water is a basic human right that everybody needs. Something I would love to see in the future is waste management. Now, being where I live in Quebec, Canada, we're very lucky. We have really good waste management, but stuff still ends up in the ocean or the waterways or the landfill forever. And I would love to see everybody in the world have proper waste management. Haiti doesn't even have garbage pickup. Those people have nowhere to put their garbage, so they literally throw it in the street or on the land or in their rivers, which eventually empty out into the ocean. So you wonder why there's so much plastic and garbage in the ocean is because a lot of these countries don't have proper garbage pickup. They don't have proper waste management. Jamaica has some waste management garbage trucks, but a lot of times the trucks don't come. So they throw their stuff in the gullies and the gullies flush out into the oceans. So I would love to see in the future proper waste management for all people. And when you talk about waste management, it talks about a lot of stuff. So you want to see proper recycling, right, to go with waste management, because if you recycle properly, you'll have less garbage. So if people have, plastics or paper, cardboard, metal, glass, whatever, they need to also have proper recycling facilities to go next to their proper waste management facilities. And if you take out the food scraps and stop food waste from any place, like grocery stores, farmer, manufacturing center, processing center, anything that deals with food, restaurants, and I talked about this in my food waste video, but if you divert that from entering the garbage waste system and compost it, I would love to see everybody in the world, their governments provide them adequate composting as well, and it would reduce so much waste and everybody would be able to live greener, and it would be awesome for the future. I mean, really awesome. So if you think of your garbage is taken care of, your recycling is taken care of, your compost for your food scrap is taken care of, you're not left with that much actual garbage, if you think about it. At the same time, I would love to see governments and countries provide second-hand store facilities. So yes, there's second-hand stores around the world, like the Salvation Army, Renaissance, Goodwill, the Village Dwellers, Savers. There is second-hand stores available. However, I'm thinking specifically huge centers, huge second-hand centers set up next to recycling facilities. So if people are dropping off furniture, tech, books, clothing, anything like that, it gets checked to see if it's still good, right? Or if it's fixable or repairable, right? And then it could be resold at a considerable discount, very cheaply, to people who need it. So those items will stop them from going into the landfill. And they're actually doing this in parts of the world already. And I would also love to see, when they talk about recycling, I'm talking about also recycling tech. Any kind of tech to get those precious metals like cadmium and I think, what else are they mining for? You know, like copper and silver and gold and whatever. Take it back out of your tech items, and then you can recycle it so you can reduce the amount of mining we have to do, right? So I think if a lot of places did those things, it would be a better place to live in the future, right? Other stuff I would love to see is everybody has to have the right to repair. So if your TV breaks or your fridge breaks or your car breaks or your cell phone breaks, manufacturers have to have it built in a way that you could easily fix the product. Now I know this goes against everything they sell, right? Because they want you to break your stuff. They want planned obsolescence in your cell phones to work slower, so you go and buy another one. But I want the government or somebody in the perfect future to put a stop to companies making stuff obsolete, and every single thing needs to be fixable. And in these same secondhand stores, recycle centers, I want to see people who can actually fix stuff. You know what I mean? Like an actual trade. So if my camera breaks that I'm filming on right now, I could take it to this camera repair guy and he could fix it, right? Or replace the parts. We should have that option, and I think it would stop so much stuff going to the landfill if we just had the right to repair. I want to see refill stations everywhere. Instead of having to go to an actual zero waste store, right? I want it to be the norm. I want it normalized. So let's say you walk into your local grocery store and you need to get laundry detergent, okay? Just for an example. And if you think of the aisle, it's like full of like maybe 10 or 15 different laundry detergents and fabric softeners and different smells and scents and sizes. I don't want to see that. You know what I want to see? I want to see giant drums. You know those giant barrels, right? And I want it to say like Tide, let's say, for example, you know, or whatever the company is on the barrel, and you could take your own little container and you can just switch the thing and fill up your own container. So I want to see refill stations for everything, everywhere. I want to see it for olive oil and maple syrup and vinegar and any kind of product that's possible to be refilled. I want refill stations in all grocery stores, and not just a special store that does refills, but everywhere. I want the entire grocery store system, the way we buy things in certain small quantities, I want it changed. I think it would be amazing to see that for the future, and that goes for restaurants and coffee shops like Starbucks and Tim Hortons and anywhere you go. I think single-use items, when you do takeout or eat there even, I want to see it all replaced with reusables. So let's say you order, let's say you're using Uber Eats and you order McDonald's, right? Okay. It doesn't come to you in, you know, like the paper containers that you throw away or whatever. I want to see it come in reusable containers that you can later bring back to the store or the restaurant, and they'll take them back, wash them, and reuse them. The same thing with Starbucks or Tim Hortons going to get a coffee. I want you to be able to go there and get it in a reusable item or mug of some type, or you can bring your own. I want all grocery stores, all butchers, all cheese places, anything you're buying, any coffee shop, fast food restaurant, I want to be able to take my own container and they have to accept it. I want this normalized. If it was normalized, it would be so much better. I would love to see them stop the HOAs and the homeowners associations, and I want to see everybody have the right to grow food or a garden or to have some kind of livestock or maybe even small livestock, depending on where you live. I'm not talking about in a major city here. You're not going to put pigs in your backyard if you're in a huge, busy city. But in general, I want to see people have the right to grow a garden in their front yard. Where I live in Quebec, Canada, in my section, we are not allowed to put a garden, as in like fruits and vegetables, in the front yard. We're not. I snuck in 3 zucchini plants this year in the summer and nobody noticed, so that was good. But in general, you're not allowed to do it. You have to have it like in your backyard or whatever. So instead of having grass and lawns that does nothing, that sucks up so much water because people want their grass to look pretty, it does nothing for people. I want to see people be able to put gardens everywhere. Even if you live in a city and all you have is a balcony. I used to live in a triplex. I was on the 3rd floor. I didn't have access to the backyard. I only had a balcony. So I took one little pot and I put a tomato plant in it. And I took another little pot and I put a cucumber plant in it. And I had a long pot where I had a whole bunch of little herbs and lettuce. I want people to be able to do this everywhere. If you have a sizable backyard, I want the right to have chickens. They actually just changed the law in my section to get chickens, but you have to have a permit, and you know, there's a lot of rules to it. But I think we should have the right to have gardens or chickens or whatever on our lawn, because if we can grow our own food, that eliminates packaging, right? Which in turn eliminates recycling, which in turn eliminates garbage, which in turn the food can be later composted and re-put on your soil. So the more you grow, the less you have to buy from the grocery store or wherever, and the better it is for the planet and the better food you're eating. Thanks for watching my video about my zero waste utopian future I would love to see. Maybe I'm crazy. You're all probably thinking, yeah, right. But you never know, right? Who knows what the future is going to hold. And I hope it gets better. I do see small changes happening throughout the years in my specific area. But in general, we need to do a lot of work. And I think governments and corporations hold the power to make big changes, but never forget that individual action, what we do, what you do watching this, it matters. Because some people are saying that individuals shouldn't be held accountable. It should be always corporations and governments, but I don't believe that. I think everybody's responsible. Because if you think of how many individuals are on the planet, how many are there? How many billions of individuals are on the planet? And if we all did just a few things, it would make a difference. So I will see you next Friday for another video. And let me know if you have any dreams of stuff you would like to see in the future down in the comments. Because I don't think I'm the only one who is thinking about the future. But I always say dreams are free. And I'll see you next time.